Hey, did you know that declaring variables in JavaScript in a wrong way can break your entire code? So don't worry. In this video, I'll show you the right way of declaring variables in JavaScript using let, var, and const keyword, and also when to use them and avoid common mistakes that most of the developers do. So let's start the video. So first we will see the definition of variables, then how we can declare variables in JavaScript, then we will see the scope, the reassignment of the variables, and the redeclaration of variables as well. Then I will show you when to use let, var on const, and at last we will see the naming conventions and the best practices as well. So let's start the video. So variables are simply the containers for storing your data, right? So as we have containers in your kitchen, which is used for storing items of the kitchen, right? And we can declare variables in JavaScript using these three keywords like var, let, and const simply. So the var keyword was used in all JavaScript code from 1995 to 2015, and after that the let and const keyword were added to JavaScript. That was the update, that is ECMAScript ES6. So after this update, the let and const keyword were introduced. So now these two keywords are mostly used. So now you will say that as this var keyword was used before 2015, now let and const were used. So what is the need for learning this keyword, that is var? So let me tell you that the var keyword and the let keyword is a favorite topic for the interviewers. They mostly ask questions on these topics. They can ask plenty of questions like differences between them, their scope, like hosting. So it is a favorite topic for the interviewer. So for the sake of interview, you should learn this, although it is not being used anymore. So now let's see the scope, reassignment, and redeclaration. So first, what do you mean by the scope? So scope refers to the part of the code from where a variable can be accessed. So what do you mean by this? So let's say we have a function. So let's say we have a function x and we have the curly braces of the function, right? So we can say that from here, from this curly brace to this, we have the scope of function. It means we can call it as scope of the function. And if I declare a variable, let's say we have var a is equal to 10, then if we try to access this variable outside this function, it will not be visible. We cannot access this variable a outside this function, as the scope of this variable is limited to this function only. So we can say, in other words, that the scope of this variable a is the function scope. So now let's see the table. So at first we have the var keyword. So let us first see this scope. So it says that var is a function scope. So it is limited to the function only in which it is declared. So let's see this by example. So don't worry about this table. We will see each of this with examples, with code examples. So first it says var keyword is function scope. So let's have the example. So let's say we have a function like function x. Then simply I am declaring a variable using the var keyword. So let's say var a is equal to 10. So it says that var keyword has a function scope. So let's try to access this variable outside this function. So as I told you, this variable a will not be accessible outside this function. So let's check. So see, it says A is not defined. So it gave a reference error. So now let's see the let keyword. So the let keyword says that let is a block scope. It means it is limited to the block in which it is declared. So what do you mean by block scope? So let's say, so a block simply refers to this. So we can call this as simply a block. So it can be your if else block, for loop, while loop, or do while loop. Or maybe any other. So let's see with example. So as it says, let keyword is block scope. So let's check for let keyword as well. So first we have a function block, and this block can be your function block as well. It means it can be anything like if else, for, do while, or maybe other. But it is block scope simply under curly braces. So first we have a function block. So now let's declare a variable using let keyword. So let's say let a is equal to 10. So see, again the same error. Now let's say we have simply if some value. So don't get confused about this condition. So it is just for showing you the behavior of let keyword under block scope. So let's say we have let b is equal to simply 100. So now also it will give the same error. So see, b is not defined. So it means it can be any block. So the error will be the same. So irrespective of any block, its scope will be limited. And the same for the const as well. The same behavior you will see for const as well. So see, again it says not defined. So it means the first point where keyword is a function scope only, and let and const are block scope. So if I try to have, let's say, instead of const var xyz, then it will not give any error, as var keyword is only function scope, not block scope. So see, this time we got the value of xyz, that is 100. So now the next point, that is the reassignment of variables. So let's start with this var keyword. So first, var a is equal to simply 10. So let's reassign this variable a value, that is a is equal to 100 simply. So we declared the variable using var keyword. Then we reassigned a with different value. So now let's check. So it will not give any error. So see, we got 100. So where keyword, we can reassign the value. So now let's check for let keyword. So let's say 5 and 50. So now we have declared a variable using let keyword and we have reassigned the value as 50. So now let's check. So see, we again got the value as 50, no issues. So it means where and let keyword. With where and let keyword, we can reassign the value to the variables, but the behavior is different for const keyword. Here we cannot reassign the value. So let's say we have const. We declared a variable using const and we are reassigning the value as 50. So now let's check. So now it will give error. So see, it says assignment to a constant variable. So with const keyword, we cannot reassign the value. We use const keyword where the value will not be changed. So the third point, that is redeclaration. So with where keyword, we can redeclare the value as well. So let's have this also with example. So let's say we have var a is equal to 20. So we declared the variable a using var keyword. Now we are redeclaring the variable simply. So var a again equal to 100. So what we did, we declared the same variable twice using the var keyword. First with the value of 20, then second time. So first declared using 20, then second time redeclared using 100. So see, we got the value as 100 simply. Again, no issues. So with var keyword, we can redeclare the variable as well. So now with the let keyword, we cannot do this. So we cannot redeclare the variable using let keyword. Let's try. So let a is equal to 20. Then again, let a is equal to 100. So here only we can see the error that cannot redeclare block scoped variable a. So see, it says identifier a has already been declared. So it means with let keyword, we cannot redeclare. So now let's check with const keyword. So with const keyword also, we cannot redeclare the variable. So see, again, here only we are getting the error. So again the same error. So from this table, we can conclude that var keyword is function scope and we can reassign the value. We can redeclare as well. And for let keyword, it is block scoped. That is, it can be these blocks. And with let keyword, we can reassign but cannot redeclare. And for const keyword as well, it is block scoped, which can be these blocks. And with const, we cannot reassign as well as redeclare. So now let's see when to use let var or const. So we should use let keyword where the value of the variable needs to change, like it is ideal for loops or maybe any dynamic logic. Then, as for where keyword, we should avoid this in modern development. As I already told you that this where keyword was used before 2015. Then we should always use const if the value will not be changed. Then at last we have the naming conventions and best practices. So it means we should use camel case for variable names. So what do you mean by this camel case? So let's say you have user age. Let's suppose the variable name is user age. So simply instead of, you can have user age. So this is camel case. So let's say again we have student marks, something like that. So instead of this, you can have so this is again the camel case. So you should always use camel case for naming variables, and you should avoid using reserved keyword like let, where and const for your variable names. Then at last, we should always use names that make sense and related to your code, which will be more readable. It means if you want to store like student age, let's say, or maybe a person's age, then what you will simply do, you will simply use x is equal to something, or maybe, but you should use variable names which is related to your code logic and which is more readable. So instead of this x and y, you can simply use like user age. So let's say again you want to store course of the student, then also you will use these variable names only like x, y, or maybe simply a or something like this. So instead of that, simply user age, or maybe user score, like the variable names which is meaningful, which is more readable. Although it is not mandatory, it means it won't give any error if you use this x, y, and a. But if you want to be a good developer, then you should follow these things like camel case, more readable names. Okay. So you also want to be a good developer, right? So yes, that's it for this video. Hope you all understood this in a much better way. So see you all in the next one. Till then, take care.